Hi there, I'm Mrs. Bailey. I'm the Head of History at Coombs Head. I'm going to introduce to you the topics that you will cover if you are to pick A-level history. The topics in paper 1 are linked thematically. So we study Root F, which is called Searching for Rights and Freedoms in the 20th Century. Paper 1 is a breadth study with interpretations, that's different points of view. And the topic you study for paper 1 is In Search of the American Dream, the USA 1917 to 96. Paper 2 is a study in depth, that's looking at sources as well, and that study is India 1914 to 48, and it's the road to independence. Paper 3 looks at change over time, so you look at rebellion and disorder under the Tudors 1485 to 1603. The final A-level component is coursework, so you will complete an independently researched inquiry on historical interpretations. So you will need to think of a topic about which people have different interpretations and where there's an argument and different points of view. And that's a 3,000 to 4,000 word essay. In terms of assessment, paper 1 is 30%, paper 2 is 20%, paper 3 is 30%, and coursework is 20%. So in terms of your future career and the skills and opportunities that History A-Level offers you, it's a really popular and well-respected A-Level, as it obviously is quite a difficult one, and it's acceptable to all universities and colleges. Its development of skills, attention to detail and study in depth make it useful for many other degree courses such as politics, economics, law, philosophy, social studies and business. History students offer employers a great deal since they have become independent learners and thinkers who have developed research skills and the ability to question, establish ideas. Careers opportunities exist in teaching, researching, banking, journalism, law, the civil service, local government and all branches of management. Obviously, not everybody that does History A-Level wants to become a history teacher like us. However, we do have excellent students that we've taught who have become a history teacher. So Miss Brown at Teen is now a history teacher. So we obviously have taught her well.
The first part of paper 1 is your breadth study, your thematic breadth study, looking at the American Dream in the USA between 1917 and 1996. So looking at the complete transformation of the USA over the 20th century. Now, as I said, it's a thematic study, and the 4 themes identified require you to have an overview of the political, social and economic changes and aspects of cultural changes across the time period. So you'll get a knowledge of the specified themes and the skills within them. You'll be evaluating cause and consequence, looking at key features and dealing with factors which brought about the change. So our first theme is the changing political environment between 1917 and 1980, looking at how the politics in America changed and how the presidency changed over that time and impacted on society. We then look at the quest for civil rights, so that'll be with particular reference to African American civil rights, but also looking at the influence of the African American struggle on the search for non-African American minority rights, such as Native Americans and Hispanics. We then look at society and culture in change, looking at selected aspects of society and culture which were transformed between the years of 1917 and 1980. So you'll be looking at the experiences of women and migrants in the quest for rights and freedoms. So that builds on our theme 2, looking at the quest for civil rights, but also looking at the extent to which the USA was a migrant nation and the diversity of immigrant experience. We also look at the growth of popular culture and broadcast news, how they have influenced society and how they have then influenced the politics in America. We also look at theme 4, which is the changing quality of life. So looking at the economic environment and the increasing aspiration between 1917 and 1980. So looking at economic policies, changes and their effects on living standards, and understand how the developments in leisure and travel affected the quality of life and identify relevant examples. Our final unit for America is the impact of the Reagan presidency between 1981 and 1989. So Ronald Reagan is a really controversial figure in American history. He's often considered one of the greatest American presidents and then also considered one of the worst American presidents. And what we do is we look at his presidency, the changes he brought in, the changes he didn't bring in, and evaluate, okay, how good a president was he? We look at interpretations surrounding his presidency, and then we reach a judgment, or you reach an individual judgment, on how good a president he was. As part of this course, looking at the American Dream, we hope to run again a visit to the USA. In 2019, I was able to take as you can see, 20 students to America, to Washington DC and New York to evaluate those 4 different themes and look at the impact of Ronald Reagan's presidency on the USA. Now, we were incredibly lucky. We managed to visit some wonderful places. You can see the Washington Memorial in your picture there, the Lincoln Memorial. We then went to the White House before we travelled up to New York, visiting the Constitution Center, and travelled around New York visiting the 9/11 Memorial, and investigating the impact of all these themes on America and their impact to this day. We really hope that we can run this again in the future, but obviously all things dependent, we have to play that one by ear. But fingers crossed, I'll be able to run that one with you soon.
Paper 2, India, 1914 to 1947, Road to Independence. This is an in-depth study of India's quest for independence. The course begins from the outbreak of the First World War and will look at the changing relationships between Britain and India up to their independence in 1947. We begin with studying key events prior to the outbreak of World War I, such as the Indian Mutiny of 1857, the creation of the Indian Congress, and the formation of the All Indian Muslim League. This is to gain an overview of reasons why India sought its independence and the challenges they faced. The course runs in a chronological format, covering India's campaign and the growth of Indian nationalism up to 1947. You will study how the British Raj controlled India and the imperialistic view of holding on to India, referring to her as the jewel in the crown. You'll examine key events such as Indians' loyalty to Britain and its mass contribution during World War I and World War II. You'll examine the causes and consequences of the Amritsar massacre of 1919, the role of key individuals such as Mahatma Gandhi and his methods of peaceful protest with non-cooperation movements, his ploy to keep India as a whole and his discontent with Indian partition, the role of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and his challenges in representing the Muslim League and the struggle in obtaining a new Muslim state, which is today Pakistan. The course examines the challenges between India and the British government from a political aspect and the challenges they faced in drawing up a fair constitution in aim of transferring power. You will study the role of many key individuals such as Winston Churchill and his views on India and the Indian people, and Lord Mountbatten, the last royal viceroy, and his responsibility of drawing up a boundary line for partition, separating India and creating new state of Pakistan. There has never been a mass migration on this scale before or since, whereby over 1 million people perished. This is a story of protest, riots, rebellion, bloodshed and massacre in the aim of gaining independence. The exam paper consists of 1 source-based question and 1 essay exam question. I'm sure you'll find this unit interesting, moving and inspiring.
Paper 3 is the change through time topic, and we study rebellion and disorder under the Tudors 1485 to 1603. This option comprises 2 parts, so aspects and breadth, so you look at change over time across all the different monarchs over the Tudor period, so the different reigns, and look at what changed and what stayed the same. Then you will look at different depth studies. So you look at different rebellions under the different monarchs from Henry VII up to Elizabeth I, and you'll look to see how they dealt with these rebellions. The different rebellions we study are firstly challenging the succession. So we look at Henry VII and we look at how he had quite a shaky start to his reign and what he did to overcome the opinion of people believing he was a usurper. Obviously, Henry VIII is probably the most famous Tudor monarch that you will have heard of. We look at how people challenged his religious changes, in particular the rebellions such as the Pilgrimage of Grace. Edward was obviously a slightly more younger, weaker, feeble monarch that struggled with health issues, and obviously his age made it quite difficult in terms of ruling the country. We look at an economic rebellion called the Ketch Rebellion that was a bit of a class struggle. We look at the Northern Rebellion against Elizabeth I as well. And we also look in terms of Elizabeth at how she tried to contain Ireland and how she struggled to deal with Ireland and basically bankrupted England, trying to take control of Ireland.
Hello, I'm Maddie Stevens and I'm here to tell you why I think you should study history. I am a King's Head alumni of history and it probably was one of my favourite subjects that I studied. I'm currently at Warwick University studying politics, and I can say that studying history at not only GCSE and A-level helped numerously into being able to do my politics degree. So many different aspects of history overlap with politics, and I think it's been really crucial as to why I enjoy the subject so much, and I'm so good at it. The teachers, as you know, are excellent. They helped me fall in love with the subject even more than I possibly thought I could. I got there into A-level not really knowing what to expect, but they helped leaps and bounds with helping me improve my writing skills, my analytical skills. They made the subject fun, and yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. It was one of the best 2 years of my life studying history, with Miss Bailey, Miss Masters and Miss Medhas, and I know me and all of my other peers could not recommend studying history enough for students at Coombs Head Academy. Thank you.
My favourite thing about history is learning about the Tudors. I find it so interesting to learn about how they lived and what their society looked like. And with taking history, I can get an understanding and reasons for why they passed certain laws, and overall I can create my own judgment.
Hello everyone at Coombs Head, it's Alice here, and I was a student at the school from years 7 to 13, and just really want to talk to you guys about studying history at A-level because I believe it's such an amazing opportunity to have, and that it really is a good platform to start off and getting ready for university study. I'm currently at the University of Exeter and I am reading history, and I've just started my 2nd year. Having history A-level as a platform for that has been incredibly helpful. The breadth of history you get to study at A-level is so great, from India to America, and then the time span that you have that over is something that I found absolutely wonderful. It was so interesting, and the way that teachers teach it is just even better. It just really gave me a wonderful understanding and a great start to what I'd be studying at university. The A-level has really given me the opportunity to develop and argue my own ideas as well, so I believe it's a really great subject to start off from and to broaden your horizons as well. So you don't have to study history at university. It's also a great start to study other things like English and law and international relations, things like that. At Coombs Head, I really did have the most wonderful time studying there. The teachers, as I said already, are amazing. They're so lovely and always there to help, and I found that really useful in my time there. There is also the amazing opportunity that I had to go to America on the trip that had the most wonderful time in, and it was also very educational, of course. The opportunities I've had as a result of studying it and where I'm now at university has allowed me to possibly go and study abroad next year, so I hopefully will be going to Canada, fingers crossed. And yeah, I just want to stress to everyone that this A-level and what it has and how it's taught and everything about it is just such an amazing opportunity that I would truly encourage anyone to take. You guys will have the most amazing time, it'll be so much fun, and you will learn so much to help you get ready for university and whatever else you'll be doing. Thank you very much, hope you're all well and see you soon.